was quite something that made my rugby career what it is. Those are the people that sort of inspired me. That's how I viewed my rugby career was partly if I could learn a lot from people by being around them and try to be as much as possible. In a nutshell.
That was not a nutshell. Bobs, I'm gonna give over to some of the other guys to ask you a few questions. You know, that's why I asked you the other day, are you busy writing again? Are you busy with your book? Because you got thousands and thousands and thousands of stories. We can sit and talk the whole day, but I don't want to waste your time. We're going to the next guy. I know you can talk a lot. That's why when they said thought leader, you popped up immediately. I'm going to give over to Sean to just ask you a question.
Okay, so hello Bobo, it's Sean here. I've been waiting a long time to just meet you. I know it's not in person, but yeah. So while we're talking about your rugby career now, you mentioned a lot of things that, yeah. So I just wanted to ask, what was your most memorable moment of your rugby career and why? Did you hear me?
You got that one?
The most memorable?
Yes, like...
You said the most memorable. Yeah, I heard you, Sean. I heard you.
Okay, sorry man.
I've got a few actually. Like any other person does, right? I'm the weird one. The one that comes to mind, is the time we played on our last season at school, Bobo Boys High. So we got this biggest rivalry against Bishops, which is the diocesan college, which is about a stone throw away from Ranabosh, the school. So we're separated by a park. So this has been going on for years. That day, which was the last time we were going to play them away from home in our school career, which is 150th for Ranabosh in terms of years. So it was a very big, it was the edge beat, which was the 100. So it was a massive year, and even was going over hard. And I was captain. And the one thing that comes to us is that our coach, Mr. King, had to be the referee for the current cup match. So I had to take over and look after the team for that day. And we were playing against our biggest rivals, and everyone was there. I mean, I'm telling you, it's like 10,000 people. Everyone's waiting and sitting on us, and our coach is refereeing the game in Pretoria the night before, so he was flying in. So I remember speaking to myself, I don't want this team coach to come in here to come and tell us what to do. So getting all of the boys and bringing them closer to each other and saying, when we meet each other 20 years from now, we're going to look into each other's eyes. No one has to say anything, but we all understand what we're doing today. And that is a challenge that I set out to the mind. I remember saying after that what's going to pull us through to this is we're going to walk through the tunnel. You know, like those big games, teams, they sprint through that. I said, no, you're going to walk through that tunnel. You're going to look into each other's eyes. You're going to look into the kids who are screaming their life, like the grade 8s who are looking at you and thinking who they're heroes. So you don't want to let that place down. You don't want to let those people down. And you must take that and use it as part of unity with the time. And so we walked through, but halfway through that, I mean, these kids were pushing me, they were kicking. My team was ready to run through me. So I knew that we were ready to run the game. But what was memorable was the fact shot for me. My mom, which was the first time my mom came to watch me play rugby.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I didn't know that. It surprised me. When I saw her walk towards me and how proud she was, yes, that gave me this goosebumps. So it's something that
See in the eye.
No, that's awesome, yeah.
And obviously the first time you wear the Bob jersey.
And then for sure, I mean, one day that is always going to remain the most memorable day was, I think it was the 14th of June 2003 at Ellis Park, sitting on the bench against Scotland. They raised my number. So they put me on. and I got out there, and to me, like, I think the first play I stole the ball, the second play went through the gap, and it felt like a gunshot. And it was so loud. I was like, oh my goodness. What a
Feeling.
thrill. You know, what a thrill, what a feeling. I mean, so today. It raises the neck. And yeah, those two games, they are dearest to me. They come as a memory that I'll always treasure, that like game.
Nice. Okay, we move on to Boiti.
Hi.
Let me just.
Mute your laptop.
Okay, it is muted. Okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I wanted to ask, how did you transition from being a rugby player to a commentator, and was it difficult?
I'm a very reflective person. So when I was young, I never wanted to miss a rugby match when it was on TV, especially when Super 12 started. And Super 12 started back in 96, it was 28 years ago. So I didn't want to miss a game. I wanted to see the game, and really to see the game for me was like, I wanted to watch when they walk out in the change room, when they take those camera shots into the change room. I wanted to see that story. I wanted to pick that feeling. I wanted to pick like, what was the people doing? What was someone doing in the corner? How were they reacting to what's going to happen? So I've always seen the game as in terms of the story, you know, how you can pick up sometimes if the team is ready or not ready by the way that they gesture themselves and the change,
Body language.
how they feel, how confident they are, or how everyone is in a panic. You can sort of sense that. So that got me interested into what are they saying, you know, what are they talking about, who's saying what kind of storyline is that. So I used to wake up in the morning with my dad, and you know, I'll wake up and he will find me watching TV and lying on the couch on pizza, you know, to do that. And so I used to try to, sometimes he used to let me get away with it, but he didn't like me on the couch. But then I had to understand why I was awake and what was happening. So now I had to sort of get interested into who was playing, what was in the scene, what type of game, why is it important for him to see this game, why am I watching it? So me having to solve that game, that's what I'm doing now with the broadcast. I have to solve the game to the viewers and to the fans of the game, and tell them why they have to watch this game and why these players are so good and what is technically good about it, why am I saying this is good. And that's what I understood from just watching that. And being the curious, inquisitive person that I am, when I got injured before the World Cup in 2003, Emmet came to me and said, do I want to do a talk show with a comedian and an actress? I put my hand up, I was out of the World Cup, it was going to take a month. And this was going to be a bit of a nice little something to challenge to. So in 2003, I started on television. I enjoyed that, and I thought to myself, you know, why not? After I played, I made sure every time I got a chance to present myself, I came across the way that I wanted to, the way that people can sort of
Yeah, I'd like to pass it on to my friend here, Zion.
I just want to ask you, did Charitable make the impact you expected it to be?
He's lagging.
Are we
Yeah, you guys were person. We back. Yeah, so that's how Boise I got into broadcasting. That's why broadcasting for me is a nice space where I can promote the game. And hopefully I'm doing that. And it is the hardest thing because you all come out saying that you know the game, but how do you tell me what happened in the picture within 45 seconds without telling me everything that I don't want to hear? And staying impartial sometimes, sometimes like anyone's got big biases in themselves. You could be either a player or you could be a team or whatever. Or you're doing a Springbok game where now you have to think about is it worth it being critical or is it a learning time? You know what I mean? And sometimes things don't have to be critical. Sometimes things have to be given solutions.
Okay,
Yeah, I would like to pass on to my friend here, Zion.
Hello.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm good and you, thank you. My question for you is, did Charitable make the impact you expected it to be?
I won't lie. Across the world, yes. Across the world, it created so many, what can I say, diversions. It inspired other people to copy,
Yeah.
which is the biggest compliment, right? It shows you what you thought as an idea is something that everyone else sees as an idea, right? It's starting to understand the sort of corporate world that everything has to compete, right? The big ball manufacturers and to small manufacturers is totally different. What I like about Shuttleable is the core principle of if you improve the most vital skill of the game, which is the catching and passing, that gives you a chance to make better decisions. And if you can make better decisions, you'll enjoy the game a bit more because now you can put yourself in more situations where you can challenge yourself because you're comfortable with your skill set. For that, but for its growth, I think, you see something and you say to yourself, this will help so many. You just hope everyone else could not see it as you trying to be better or trying to be. You trying to imprint it onto people's minds to get it to the kids to try and share the skills, to share the insights about it. I think about Shuttleable, as many as there are those who have copied our ball, it's all easy to have the ball, but just what you do with it. So what we did was to make it a product was to create a passing seminar with it, where the skills range from a beginner to intermediate to professional. You can tell you how to pass a ball, starting from ground up all the way to the hips to the shoulders, to how you can do that. I think like anything, sometimes if it doesn't have the label,
thanks, Bob. Bob, before I give over to Jordan, I just want to quickly tell these guys, before, look now, everybody's talking about Sunnyball Williams. You were the Sunnyball Williams in the days. You had all those skills. I know what I'm talking about.
Unmute.
Did you hear that, man? Is it all on?
For me, the thing was, when it came to basketball, because I was watching so much basketball, I used to dream about making sure that I can get the ball and put it through my legs, because if I'm putting the ball through my legs, that's my mindset. You know, I'm so embarrassing. I just want to be better than everyone that is out there. And I think if we don't have that sort of feel, it must be challenging, man. It must be something that it must be impossible. That's why I even started doing that, because I was like, you know, if I can't have that same push that I wanted, why am I still playing? Because then I'm just holding on a spot for a younger player to do well.
Yeah.
And besides that, to the inevitable, you have to stop playing.
Yeah.
And another thing was, I wanted to see the life of the sports is one, but I just wanted to see the nurses I've made from the sport. How
Yeah, okay, I'm going to give over to Jordan because I've got a lot of questions to ask you, Jordan. Am I muted? Okay. Now I'm going to give over to Jordan for his session, his question. You know I've got a lot of questions to ask you, but time is against us. I'm sure you want to go somewhere. Are you busy, man? Quickly, how many time you still have left for us? About?
no.
You good? Are you good?
I'm networking.
That's good. I know you're working from home also sometimes. Okay, Jordan, you can ask the question to Bobo.
Morning, sir. My name is Jordan. I'm good, very good. I have a question. So you played in South Africa for like a very long time, and then there was a point where you decided that you wanted to go and play overseas. So I want to know what made you make that decision, and was it the right decision?
Sure. And so what made me make that decision? And I didn't get a second question.
Was it a good
Oh,
decision?
and what-
Was it a good
was
decision
the
or
right
right
decision?
decision to go
Yeah.
overseas?